All right, guys, trade recap from today, Monday, June 23rd. Let's get right into it. So, let's start it open. So, right at market open, you see that we have this flash dump pretty much. And we take out these lows right here on NQ, but at the same time, we did not take out these lows on ES. So, right here is an SMT. And London lows were already taken out. We also retapped into this 1 hour bullish fair value gap. So now let's drop down to the 1 minute time frame. As you can see right here. So we had all of these bearish candles right here along with this SMT. So at this point, I'm looking to see, okay, with this SMT, does that just push price higher to retrace maybe into this first presented fair value gap, or does it want to retrace or not retrace, to inverse all these candles and then run London highs? I came into today saying that I wanted to see London highs get hit. I saw we had these equal highs right here, right at about 21,890. And then I also saw these highs, these were low resistance highs right here at 925, 934, and then London highs, which is 944. So I wanted to see those get ran. So as we play this out, you can see right here, we inverse all those gaps, right? So at this point, I say to myself, okay, we flipped, we put an SMT at the low. We see basically an instant reaction. I want to see us either retest this first presented fair value gap with this large gap right here, or I want to see some sort of, close above these series of down close candles, which would be a change in the state of delivery and also an order block, because this was used once we get above it to create orders and kind of, accumulate and then send us higher. So right here, I'm looking for an entry. Still looking for something. I forget exactly what candle it was. Okay, yes, this was the candle right here. Right as this candle was closing, I entered longs. On MNQ, we actually wicked down lower into these 1 minute gaps. So it's a little weird. I don't know if my charts are messed up or it was only on the micros, but we had a much larger wick and we tapped into these gaps. So I was like, okay, I like this. Also, on top of that, we already closed above these series of down close candles right here, right? And you see that we tapped this as well, and we are respecting it, and we see strong buying out of this. And on top of that, I also see that we are tapping into the opening range gap equilibrium right here. And as you can see, we wick right off that as well. So what I did is I entered just before this candle closed. It was right about here. And I had my stop just below that candle. And I was targeting London highs right here. So at this point, it's 2.8 risk to reward, which is very good. So as I'm playing this out, forget what candle it was. Okay, so on this candle right here, I believe it was this candle. I could be wrong and it could have been this candle. But when ES took the objective, so when ES took London highs, I just closed my position in full. Now, usually I will trim and I will move my stops, but I only had one mini on. Instead of having like 10 micros on, I had my one mini. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to close it, because down the line you might be like, oh, if you just held it out, you would have hit your take profit. As you can see right here, take profit does get hit. But what I like to say is trading is a game of probabilities. And more often than not, if you play safe, as in, taking off your trade when, you get an SMT working against you, more times than not, it is going to help you, not hurt you. Now, yes, I trimmed it right about here at 925, and I could have called another 20 points. But at the end of the day, is 20 points gonna change me being profitable? Is 20 points gonna change the trajectory of my trading? No, I still caught like 1.9 R. which is more than okay with me. That's good. And I had one mini on. The ranges are pretty wide, so it was about 40 points, give or take, which is more than, that's good for me. Yes, in hindsight, I would have loved to hold for London highs and then even further, but this is why I always say to people, if you're going to trade one mini, I like to trade 10 micros instead, just because of the fact that, you know, you could manage your risk way better. So in this sense, I could have taken, let's say, like 7 off, right? I could have taken 7 out of the 10 micros off as soon as ES took out that high. And then immediately I could have set, you know, let's say 2 more at London high, or even 3. Let's say I took it all off there. I could have had that for like, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could have done so many different things, and that's why I like to use micros, 10 micros instead of using one mini most of the time. But there's nothing you can do about it now. So yes, this is my trade. Let's continue to play out kind of what happened. We did kind of, you know, go higher for a little bit. You know, you could have held some runners. Then we just started consolidating, and then right about in here, we got some war news. Right, you'll see as soon as the big down close candles come. And right about here, we get some war news that United States is getting attacked. And you see us sweep out New York AM low. And then, which again, on ES, did we take that out? Yes, on ES we did take that out as well. Okay, so there was no SMT here. But after we sweep out this low, we got it really, really clean price action. And you guys could say, oh, well, I thought we would have gotten Asia session, blah, blah, blah. But, like, okay, it's 40 points away still. Markets were strong before news. News could have just, you know, forced us to sweep some more liquidity to push us higher. I wasn't on the charts for this. I was occupied doing something, and I wasn't able to get back to the charts quick enough, but I just want to play this out and just show you guys the reaction. So you're seeing large candles with low wicks to the downside. These are all showing us like there is a willingness to not go lower. Price wants to go higher, right? Oh, whatever. Oopsies. So whatever, we close above this first presented fair value gap. We close above the opening range gap high, equilibrium, whatever. So now at this point, I'm like, all right, we look really strong. I want to see a retrace into one of these gaps. This, once again, I wasn't on the charts for this, but this is what I would be looking for. We get a retrace here. Okay, you could have either taken longs in here with a stop below like here, right? I personally would have waited more of a retrace, like something like this, maybe. 50% of this wick, okay? And then you could have targeted this because this was still valid. All this was low resistance highs. So this is why I still like this trade. But I probably would have waited for more of a retrace just based off this structure that we have. So I think we do end up tapping first presented gap, which is perfect. Yeah, boom. You have this large imbalance, but you have this first presented fair value gap as well. So let's say you enter right here, right? And you have your stop here, right? And you could... I personally would not target all the way up here for one take profit. I would probably have some off here. There's already 1.6 risk to reward. And then, you know, take some off here. And then I would have a runner all the way up here. Because I don't really like to go for home runs like this. There's no need. So after we touch that first presented fair value gap, we come down one more time, tap it. And this is why it's important to have proper stop loss management. Because if you just put your stop loss and jammed it right underneath this low, you're getting stopped out. And then we run. Just straight rip. All the way higher. Just straight ripping. Right? Like, longs were so free. You could have taken any continuation. And for me, personally, I don't know if I would have taken this. Maybe I would have. But this continuation right here was also so clean. Like, yes, there's a big black handle. Let's say even you didn't get the perfect entry, right? Because you didn't know. Okay, so you have here, let's say you have your stop around here, right? Something valid. And you are targeting here for, you know, these relative equal highs right here, right? Let's say that's where you want to close your trade. All right, cool. That's 1.1 risk to reward, and you hit rather quickly. And then you could have left runners all the way up here. Boom. And you could have just let that shit run. But in my opinion, longs before the dump and after the dump were both very valid. I mean, you could have shorted too. It's just like, I personally think that longs are much cleaner. That's really all I have for today, going over today's price action. But I will see you guys all tomorrow for live trading. And I will continue to do trade breakdowns and, you know, like daily recaps every single day. And hopefully we can start getting enough people in the live calls for these trade recaps and daily recaps so I can start going over them live, answering your questions, and reviewing all your trades in real time. I will catch you guys later. Peace out.